Well, yeah, didn't you have you had other things you wanted to talk about there tonight, right? We had other discussion points. Magic Johnson, right?
Oh, yeah, 20 years ago this week, Magic Johnson lied and told everybody he had HIV.
Now, you've talked about this on the show many times in the past, but we brought it up again this week because there's a big debate going on about who's the best basketball player ever, and it came up Magic Johnson versus Michael Jordan, and you can make the case. So you got outraged that Magic Johnson is still around after he got HIV. You're very upset about this.
Here's what I want to know, man. I want to see if we could take a poll of all the people who got HIV back in 1991. See how many of them still alive.
Yeah, well, I think what you need to ask, though, is how many people I think it could be a financial thing as well. Like, he has the money to get the best medical care possible, the best drugs, the best, he can take care of himself with the diet, the exercise. So maybe that all factors in, I'm sure.
Okay. Now, here's my thing. Because I told you I was told by a very prominent athlete about this before Magic Johnson even came out with something. Remember when I told you that? Okay.
This is your conspiracy theory about Magic Johnson, that he never had HIV and he doesn't have HIV.
It ain't conspiracy, it's gospel.
It's gospel.
Now, this professional athlete, I'm going to keep him nameless.
Can I just say who it is? Because I think I know who it is, right?
No, we don't want to do that because we don't want ESPN calling him.
But I'm sure you said his name before, though.
Well, don't worry about it. If so, then let people dig through the archives and find it.
Okay.
I don't want no part of it.
All right.
So here's what happened. This athlete tells us, there's a few of us sitting around talking. He says there is going to be a professional athlete come out and say that he has AIDS and HIV. But don't believe it because it's not true. He says, first they offered it to Sugar Ray Leonard. Can you believe that? Sugar Ray Leonard turned it down because back in that time, Sugar Ray Leonard was still, a pretty fancy name.
Yeah.
Then they offered it to a few other professional athletes. And then Magic Johnson took them up on the offer. Now, the offer was $100 million. $100
million?
$100 million.
To say you have HIV
and AIDS. And the reason why they wanted him to do this is because if you remember back then, people thought that was a death sentence, right? If you got that, they was like, oh, shit, you gone, man. You ain't going to have nothing. Well, what they wanted to do, they wanted people to stop being so scared. So they wanted to make people get more comfortable and say, you know what, anybody can do anything if you have HIV or AIDS.
Now, when you say they, like who are you referring to when you say they?
Government.
The government. United States federal government.
Yeah, they was getting all freaked out about this AIDS epidemics.
Uh-huh.
Because people was getting, if you had AIDS and stuff back then, you was getting beat up.
So it's the U.S. federal government who made the offer of $100 million.
Then some big corporations got together. McDonald's Corporation, a couple of other people got together, and they put this $100 million package together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this money went to Magic Johnson because, if you can remember, back then, basketball players didn't make a lot of money in the late 80s and early 90s.
I think Magic Johnson's contract, if I recall, back in those days, he was making about $2 million a year.
Yes, because he had signed a 25-year, $25 million contract. That was his deal. Now, what happened was Magic Johnson, what they were doing is try to say, okay, Magic, you have this. We're going to have you retire, but you're going to come back and play ball again. We're going to act like we give you all this medicine, but you took the medicine, and now you're feeling better, and bam, you're back playing basketball, and hey, man, Magic's on the court playing, woo-hoo-hoo, like a goddamn, Harlem Globetrotter or something. Well, if you can remember, Magic did announce his retirement. People was all upset. Then all of a sudden, Magic says, I'm coming back. I'm coming back, baby. I'm coming back to the league. Man, there was a big backlash in the NBA. Karl Malone, all these guys. Oh, man, we ain't playing with – if Magic's playing, we ain't playing. See, because they didn't know that Magic Johnson didn't have nothing. So, around that time, the Dream Team comes around. Remember the Dream Team, basketball Dream Team?
Yeah, 92.
They had to sit Larry Bird and all them fellas down and say, listen, that Magic ain't got nothing. Magic ain't got nothing. You got to let Magic play on the Dream Team. So Magic plays on the Dream Team, plays ball. They let him come back. No one made it. After he played on the Dream Team, not one person cried about Magic coming back to play in the NBA again. And not only did Magic come back to play in the NBA, before he was diagnosed with HIV, he was a point guard and was, tall and lanky, kind of skinny. Man, he comes back bulked up like he's a weightlifter and starts playing power forward. I never heard of nobody in the history of HIV and AIDS that puts on 40 pounds and starts playing hoop at a stronger position.
Yeah, he was listed at 6'8", 215, which is kind of actually thin.
When he first started playing.
Yeah.
But later on, he was like 6'8", 255. And he was built up. He was all bulky. No way could that happen.
Well, but when he came back, he was 36. But, yeah, your point is that anyone with HIV, they usually don't put on weight.
Yes. You're not going to gain that weight like that. See, that's the things I want to know is, okay, you say Magic Johnson, got the best care and all that stuff. Plus, Magic Johnson's wife never comes up with the virus. His kid doesn't come. She's pregnant at the time. So if he was diagnosed and they were like, oh, this is the height of it where he gets diagnosed for positive and all that stuff like that, and his wife was pregnant, doesn't it kind of say that his wife or his unborn kid would have it? Because I want to know.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but yeah, it seems.
Okay. Now listen. Here's the things I want to know. First of all, back in 1990 and 91, when this happened, how many people that were diagnosed with HIV and didn't know it and was married, when they got it, how many of them did not pass it on to their spouse? Okay, what percentage? Also, I want to know how many people had access to the same drugs that Magic Johnson had access to. And if so, how many of those people died? And how many are still alive? Because you never ever hear, I never watch a story, I never see a thing on the news going, hey man, Mike Dell from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, he's been living with HIV for 24 years. Don't you think that don't you think that these AIDS and HIV people would be putting those people like on posters going, hey, it's not a death sentence? I've never seen not one advertisement of people who got that disease advertising, hey man, look, I'm still here. Because everybody that I know, and I've known 11 people in my life that have had HIV and AIDS. Every one of them did. And every one of them didn't last very long either. So I'm just saying, I know for a fact Magic Johnson ain't never had nothing. And now they say, oh, you can't even detect it inside of his body no more. Well, of course you can't, because he never had nothing. You know? That's like saying, like when Larry got diagnosed with herpes.
Well,
we
should keep that quiet, Ed, really. But it's an interesting theory, Ed. But I think we need more proof.
Well, why don't you?
I would tend to fall
it?
on the side that he just has enough money to get the best health care possible, and that's why he's
okay, but how many other people have to get the best health care possible? I'm sure there's other rich people out there. And listen to this, okay? Well, Magic Johnson. Okay, here's another thing too about the money situation. Magic Johnson, after he did this, after he retired and all that stuff, all of a sudden Magic Johnson has enough money to buy Starbucks and Magic Johnson movie theaters and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
How does he do that when he don't have that kind of money? He's over here building Magic Johnson movie theaters in all these different places. He don't got money for all that. But he did get money for it because they gave him the $100 million. So, and even this is true, too, that people, I never was in the room, but people that I know in Los Angeles told me that even after Magic announced he had HIV and AIDS and stuff or whatever, he was still out there catting around with all kinds of women. You never heard about none of those women. And how come no woman that Magic Johnson ever had sex with ever sued him for giving him HIV?
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect of it all there. That's a good point. Yeah.
If you're reading these books about all these women, Magic's doing 6, 7 women at a time.
That's right. He was getting it done.
Yeah. And not one of them, he's running trains with him with James Worthy and all them dudes. How come James Worthy ain't getting nothing?
And it's not like they're using condoms,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So how come Magic Johnson been with thousands and thousands of women in his life? Not one of them sued him for saying, hey, man, Magic gave me HIV.
Because you remember what happened to, Roberto Alomar, right? He got sued, right?
Yeah, he got sued, yeah. Never heard not one case of Magic getting sued for it. And like I told you before, if he got cured from HIV, then Magic Johnson had one Magic Johnson.
There it is. Ding, ding, ding. We were waiting all show for it. There it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He had his favorite joke.
Yeah.
Well, I think you need to put your best Ed Times reporters on this one, Ed.
Well, hey, I don't know. But that's just what I say. So, the goddamn people on the Twitter going, oh, Ed, you don't know nothing. Nah. You know what? Shut up.